Algebra 1, section 2-4, solving equations with the variable on each side. Solving equations with a variable on each side. Alright, so let's just start in with examples, and that's pretty much all we're doing for this section is doing a bunch of examples. So let's start with this one. 2 plus 5k equals 3k minus 6. Alright, so we want to get the variable all by itself, and we want to, the way to do that is to do the same thing on one side that we do on the other side. So let's get the k's together first. So I'm going to subtract 3k from each side. And so I've got 2 plus 5k minus 3k is 2k equals, that becomes 0, so I have negative 6 left over here. And so now I'm going to subtract 2 from each side, and I've got 2k equals negative 8. Negative 6 minus 2 is negative 8. Divide by 2, and I've got k equals negative 4. Now, what do you say if you started this problem off, and then I can double check this work in just a second, but what if I started this problem off a different way? 2 plus 5k equals 3k minus 6. What if I wanted to subtract the 5k instead of subtract the 3k? That's fine. Subtract 5k from each side. So the 5k's go away and I'm left with 2 on the left side. 3k minus 5k is negative 2k plus, minus 6. And then I want to add 6 to both sides to get the k by itself. Plus 6 plus 6. 8 equals negative 2k. Then I just divide by negative 2 from both sides, and I get negative 4 equals k. So either way, that works just fine. Now, an important thing is to plug this negative 4 back into the original equation and see if it makes sense. So negative 4 times 5 is negative 20. Negative 20 plus 2 is negative 18. Negative 4 times 3 is negative 12. Negative 12 minus 6 is negative 18. Negative 18 equals negative 18. Boom. We've checked our work. That all looks good. All right. Let's go ahead and do the next example. Actually, let's do this as a U-try. Well, let's do one more example, and one U-try. Plus 3w plus 2 equals 7w. All right, so I'm going to subtract 3w from each side. So I've got 2 equals 4w. And then I divide both sides by 4, and I get 2 divided by 4 is 1/2. 1/2 is w. Now I can plug that 1/2 back in. I would see that that it is correct here. 3.5 here. 1.5 plus 2 is 3.5. So that checks out. Now you try this one. 5a plus 2 equals 6 minus 7a. You're going to get a fraction here, so don't be scared if you get a fraction. And go ahead and pause the video and do the U-try. All right, welcome back. Let's check this out, see how you did. I'm going to add 7a to both sides. And I get 12a plus 2 equals 6. Now I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides. 12a equals 6 minus 2, which is 4. Divide by 12, both sides. A equals 4 divided by 12. If I divide both of these by 4, then I get 1 over 3, 1/3. And then if I should double check that, that's going to be a mess, but it's still, it checks out. All right, there it is. Let's keep going. Let's do another example. Let's get a little bit more complicated here, shall we? 6 times 5m minus 3 equals 1/3, 24m plus 12. All right, let's see how we do with this one. So I need to first distribute. I need to make sure this 6 goes here, and I distribute it also to this -3. It's important that we make sure that both of these get multiplied by 6. So 6 times 5 is 30m minus 6 times 3, which is 18, equals, now I've got to do the same thing here, 1/3 times 24 and 1/3 times 12. So let's look at what these might look like over here. So 1/3 times 24, 24 over 1, that becomes, we multiply straight across, so that's 24 over 3. 24 divided by 3 is 8, so this is 8m. And then 1/3 of 12, we can do the same thing. 1/3 times 12 over 1 equals 12 over 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So plus 4. 1/3 of 12 is 4. Now I have the same kind of setup as I had before. Subtract 8m from both sides, and I get 22m minus 18 equals 4. And then I'm going to add 18 to each side. I want the m to be all by itself. 22m equals 4 plus 18, which is 22. Divide both sides by 22. m equals 1. 22 divided by 22 is 1. Let's have you guys do one. Same kind of idea. You try. 8x minus 10 equals 3 times x minus, oops, not plus, x minus 6 minus 2x. There's the problem. All right, 8x minus 10 equals 3 times 6 minus 2x. All right, go ahead and pause, get to work on this one, and we'll be right back. Remember to distribute. All right, welcome back. 8x minus 10 equals, now I'm going to distribute these two here. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times negative 2x is negative 6x. Now I am going to add 6x to both sides, and I get 14x minus 10 equals 18. I'm going to add 10 to each side. I want the x to be by itself. So now I've got 14x equals 28. Divide both sides by 14 to get that x by itself again. 28 divided by 14 is 2. X equals 2. There's my answer. Double check, make sure that 8 times 2 is 16 minus 10, so that'll give me 6 on this side. 2 times 2 is 4. 6 minus 4 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6, so I've got 6 on both sides. I have checked my work, and that is a correct answer. Let's keep going. I've got a few more examples for us to do. 7 times n minus 1 equals negative 2 times 3 plus n. All right, we'll do this one together. I'll give you a you try, and then we'll just keep moving. I'm making sure I distribute the 7 to both of these terms. 7n minus 7 equals, now I've got to distribute here the negative 2. I got to multiply both of things by negative 2. Negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. Negative 2 times n is negative 2n. All right, I'm going to add 2n to both sides. And then I end up with 9n minus 7 equals negative 6. So those go away. Add 7 to both sides. 9n equals 1. Divide by 9, divide by 9. n equals 1/9. Ew. Yep, that's the answer, but it's gross. All right, you guys do this one. Here's a try for you. 1/3 times 18 plus 12q equals 6 times 2q minus 7. All right, oh my gosh, you try. So remember, you can multiply, you can say this is 18 is what's 1/3 of 18, what's 1/3 of 12, or you can do the multiplication like we did moments ago. However you work out this 1/3, let's see how you do. So go ahead and pause and get to work. All right, let's see how we did. I'm going to distribute this 1/3 to both of these. 1/3 of 18 is 6, or 18 divided by 3, however you want to think about it. 1/3 of 12 is 4q equals 6 times 2q is 12q. 6 times -7 is -42. I am going to now subtract 4q from both sides. And I get 6 equals 8q minus 42. Add 42 to both sides. And I get 48 equals 8q. Now I divide by 8. And 48 divided by 8q equals 6. Right? Yes, q equals 6. And I can plug that back in to double check my work. But we're all set there. And now, let's go on to, I've got 4 more examples for us to do. We're going to look at some special solutions. So, here's A. This is going to be 5x plus 5 equals 3 times 5x minus 4 minus 10x. Okay. So I would like you to go ahead and try this one out. Go ahead and pause and get to work, and let's see what we got. All right, let's look at this. So hopefully you got something kind of weird. So let's work this out and see how you did. 5x plus 5 equals, now I'm going to distribute this in here. 3 times 5x is 15x. 3 times -4 is -12. And then I've got this minus 10x over here. Now I'm going to combine like terms. I'm going to keep this 5x plus 5 over here. I'm going to subtract 10x from 15x, and that'll give me 5x minus 12. Now I'm going to subtract 5x from each side. 5x, uh-oh, wait a second, that's weird. That makes my x's go away, and I just have 5 equals -12. What? Excuse me. When you end up at the end of an equation like this, and you're solving for x, and somehow your x's get eliminated like this, we haven't done anything wrong, but we still end up with a number equals a different number. So does 5 equal -12? No, 5 does not equal -12. And so what we have here is no solution. Okay, no solution. Now let's look at another possibility. 3 times 2b minus 1 minus 7 equals 6b minus 10. All right, let's just do this one together here. Distribute my 3, so I've got 6b minus 3 minus 7 equals 6b minus 10. Okay, -3 and -7, that gives me -10. So 6b minus 10 equals 6b minus 10. What? 6b minus 10 equals 6b minus 10? That's weird. Well, let's keep working on it here. Let's add 10 to each side. And so now I've got 6b equals 6b. Let's divide by 6 from both sides. And I've got b equals b. Now, when I end up with one side of the equation looks exactly like the other side of the equation, and I can work on it all the way down so that I get the variable equals the variable, then I have all numbers. Is my solution. Or it might be all real numbers. But when you get to this, if you get the variable equals the variable, then your solution is all numbers. What that means is if I've got these two lines here, they're the same line graphed on top of each other, is what that means. So all numbers. So let's let's have you do a couple and see what you can find out. So 7x plus 5 times x minus 1 equals -5 plus 12x, and 6 times y minus 5 equals 2 times 10 plus 3y. All right, do these two and see what you get, see what you come up with, and then we'll do them together when we get back. So go ahead and pause now. All right. Let's look at these ones. Now, this one is a little bit tricky because we've got to multiply this before we subtract, right? And we can't subtract this anyways because this has a variable. But we need to multiply this. Now, it's the -5. We've got to distribute -5 to both of these. So 7x -5 minus x is -5x. -5 times -1 is +5 equals -5 plus 12x. Combine like terms, 7x minus 5x is 2x plus 5 equals -5 plus 12x. Oh, I wrote the problem down wrong. Oh well. Okay, so I'm going to subtract 2x from each side. And so I get 5 equals -5 plus 10x. Add 5 to each side. I get 10 equals 10x. Divide by 10, divide by 10. X equals 1. This was not a special solution because I wrote the problem down. This should be 7 plus 5x. Lame. All right. So hopefully you got this. And next, distribute, 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 distribute. 6y minus 30 equals 20 plus 6y. So I am going to subtract 6y from both sides. And I end up with -30 equals 20. Does -30 equal 20? No, it doesn't. So we have an issue like this one up here, 5 equals -12, where you have two numbers that don't equal each other. This is no solution. Now, in this case, if I would have written this down correctly and I would have put plus 5 here, you would have ended up with -5 and 12x on this side, and they would have been equal. You would have gotten all numbers. But Mr. V wrote it down wrong. Sorry. That is it for 2-4. Good luck on the homework.